up, people? Welcome back to Rogue Yugioh. So I've been looking to the future of Yu-Gi-Oh, kind of like to seeing what's gonna be the direction of the next format. I really plan to like take this next upcoming Yu-Gi-Oh season a little more seriously than I have in the past couple of years. Like mainly because there wasn't really worlds, and then because of like the whole like the pandemic and everything, everything kind of like shut down. But now I'm just, like you said, everything's, everything's all like, everything's kind of like good, and I really do plan on taking this next upcoming Yu-Gi-Oh season a little more seriously. With that being said, I have been looking forward to like the next big Yu-Gi-Oh engine, the next kind of broken cards, and I might have found something here. Well, I'm not gonna say that I found them the first person to discover it, but I was, people have been talking about some cards coming out, and these have caught my attention. There are two other cards, but I decided just to go over these three that I have right here. So yeah, if you like the video, please feel free to like and subscribe. If not, it is all cool. Please, like leave a like down below. It helps out a lot. Trying to get to 500 subscribers. Want to do a big giveaway when we get to that milestone. So if you'll help us out, that'd be great. Let me just read through these cards real quick. So this one is called Imseti, Glory of Horus. If you control Pharaonic Sarcophagus, you can special summon this card from your graveyard. You can only special summon Imseti, Glory of Horus, you can only special summon Imseti, Glory of Horus once per turn this way. You can only use each effect of the following effect of Imseti, Glory of Horus once per turn. You can send two cards from your hand to the graveyard, including this card. Add one Pharaonic Sarcophagus from your deck to your hand, then draw one card. If another cards you control leaves a filled by opponent's card effect while you control this monster, you can send one card on the field to the graveyard. So that right there by itself is actually like pretty broken. Essentially, all you gotta do is have the Pharaonic Sarcophagus, and you can special summon this card, and that's not really the worst. And then this card by itself right here, you could send. Let's see. You could send two cards from your hand or the field to the graveyard, including this card, and add one Pharaonic Sarcophagus from your deck to your hand. So it has the ability to search the Pharaonic Sarcophagus, and then you could use it to special summon it. So let's go ahead and just read the card that it talks about. So Pharaonic Sarcophagus reads: Horus monsters you control cannot be destroyed by card effects unless they target them. It's pretty cool. You can send one card from your hand to the graveyard, send one Horus monster from your deck to the graveyard. You could only use this effect of Pharaonic Sarcophagus up to 4 times per turn. That's interesting, because that is essentially like if you open up this card, if you like when you go in first, this card for the cards, if you run some type of mill deck or some type of deck that wants everything in the graveyard, you could essentially kind of just like use this one card to send 4 cards and then send another 4 cards from your deck. So you go from like 5 cards, and then you can bam, you go into 9 cards there. So that's very interesting. And then also, as you can tell, a lot of the Horus monsters, they have effects in the graveyard. So let's go ahead and finish this. Send one Horus monster from your deck to the graveyard. You can only use the effect of Pharaonic Sarcophagus up to 4 times per turn. Once per turn at the start of the damage step, if your Horus monster battles an opponent's monster, you could send that opponent's monster to the graveyard. So that's actually very, very interesting. Like essentially, like it lets you send cards from your hand to the graveyard to send a bunch of Horus monsters to the graveyard. And then, as you can tell with Horus right here, as long as if you control the Pharaonic Sarcophagus, you can special summon this card from your graveyard. So then you go special summon this way once per turn. And a lot of them kind of have like this clause on them. So like you basically could send the other like the other Horus monster to the graveyard to kind of get more use out of this card. The next card I want to go over is Canopic Protector. Now this card reads: once per chain, when your opponent activates a card or effect, you can special summon one Horus monster from your hand or graveyard. If you do this turn, you cannot special summon other monsters with the same original name. With the effect of Canopic Protector. So you can only summon one Horus, per chain. But it says once per chain. So this card's face up. Every chain you have opportunity to activate this card. If this card is sent from the hand or field to the graveyard, you can set it, but banish it when it leaves the field. You can only use the effect of Canape Protector once per turn. So essentially, it has the ability to flip. Has could like once per chain protect. You could send it with the with the Imseti, and then it'll set itself back, but banish it when it leaves. That's actually really good. I wasn't able to bring up the other ones, but like the other ones are. The other ones are kind of like relevant. You have one of them that allows you to draw, another one that's gonna allow you to recycle from the banish or the graveyard, and then you have one that is kind of like really like useless. Doesn't really like do too much. One is called Happy, one is called Keben Sinilf. We're gonna call it Nilf, and then you got Dalmatif. These are names that are like borderline impossible. Like for me, like it's hard for me to pronounce these freaking names. But even though these names are freaking ridiculous, the idea behind this engine is actually very interesting. Essentially, you have one card that you have one card that that searches the main card, and as long as you have an ability to get to Pharaonic Sarcophagus, you basically could just constantly do this engine of send, then you control the Pharaonic Sarcophagus, and then you could special summon the Horus monsters. So I would basically say keep an eye out for these cards, like when they come out. Keep an eye out for combos, keep an eye out for strategies. I do see this as a potential engine that could hit the meta, and hit the meta pretty hard, especially with Imseti. Imseti does have the ability to where let's see, you can send, you add one Pharaonic, and then draw one card. So if you send two cards from your hand to the graveyard, basically, and then you could also use this card as part of the cost. And also the field. So if this card's in the field, one card in the hand, this card in the field, you could send them both to the graveyard, search the Pharaonic Sarcophagus, and you could draw one card. So this card has ability to bounce. It has a you could send one card on the field to the graveyard, so it's able to send cards from the field to the graveyard, non-targeting if I'm not mistaken. You could special summon a whole bunch of level 8 monsters, so this is gonna be some rank. So this could be some rank shenanigans, because a lot of them are level 8. So this just has a lot of potential. You got draw potential. You got potential to like break boards, potential to get big monsters because they also have big attack, like 3,000 attack. A lot of the other ones have big attack too. You have the ability to kind of protect them with the recycling. Then you have the Pharaonic Sarcophagus to kind of bring it all together. So I would not be surprised if these cards become a very viable engine, similar to Bestial, where maybe it's not like a high count, but maybe you're running like 3 of these. You're running 3 Imseti, and then you're running like 1 of all the other ones to kind of get like this like little mill strategy to get a big graveyard. So that's kind of a possibility that I see with these cards. If you guys have better ideas, or maybe you're thinking of something different that you could use these cards with, let me know down in the comments below. If not, that's it for the video, guys. Peace out, and I'll catch you in the next one.